All right. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to Around Cranberry Township, where we like to interview local business owners and service professionals. I'm Dr. Bulow with Revive Upper Cervical Chiropractic, and today I'm hanging out at Beyond Parallel, the CrossFit gym here in Cranberry, with the co-owners, Cody, right,
Yep.
and Ethan, who in the CrossFit world, apparently some people know who this guy is. Ethan here, he's a national competitor, right, within CrossFit?
Yeah. So this year I was able to compete at CrossFit Games. So I was able to be one of those 40 guys in the world that had the chance to compete for the title for this on that.
That's pretty incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I think sometimes because I'm a quote-unquote chiropractor, people assume that I'm into nutrition and fitness and all this. My world's a little bit different. So this is new to me. So I'm sure it's new to other people as well. How would you introduce people to the fitness and training and CrossFit world? How would you explain what Beyond Parallel is all about?
So essentially we go based off of the terminology. So CrossFit is functional fitness at high capacity. I'm already saying it wrong.
It's all good.
Yeah, so it's functional movements at high intensity. So essentially we use full range of motion, which I think every person in the world needs to learn how to train that way. So full range of motion, I mean, as you get older, I like to use the term, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Of course.
So if you're not using full range of motion, I mean, that's a lot of times. We have a couple members that come in here that are in their 50s, even in their 60s, and they say how much better they feel better now that they're 63, 64 than whenever they were 50, just because of the simple movements that we have them doing here. So you don't always have to be in here, trying to be one of the fittest people on earth.
Sure.
Or a lot of times people just come in to get a good workout and to feel better. So the fact that we incorporate full range of motion, moderate strength training, and cardiovascular movements on a daily basis, it just creates a really, really well-rounded program for people to A, track progress, and B, change their lives. Because if you go from the deepest thing you do is sitting on the couch, and then all of a sudden you go to doing a full squat, I mean, there's a big difference in those two ranges of motions where it could potentially change or even elongate life. So that's our total goal, is to help people live a longer, happier, healthier life.
That's fantastic. I mean, there's so many facets to that. This is fitness and actually getting your body moving. Huge.
It's a
I mean,
huge
that's
thing.
like everything, right? Movement is everything when it comes to your body's physical health. It's such a big, big deal. What got you guys started? Now, you're brothers, right? That was something I found out, which is pretty cool. And what got you guys started within the fitness world and within Beyond Parallel?
So we were both hockey players.
Okay.
So we both played hockey.
And local too, right? You guys are Seneca Valley or from the Wing area and everything?
10 minutes down the road.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
I mean, most of our childhood is played right in Cranberry Township, so both of us.
We love local folks.
So we're born and raised right in Freedom, which is awesome. So we've always been local to the area.
Awesome.
But we were both always training and lifting weights. Like, our dad was always real big into fitness. So he wasn't always big into this, because it wasn't really around back in the day whenever we were getting started. Yeah. So like we were always into training, and I mean, me and him were both always very, very serious.
Hockey players, man.
Yeah,
you gotta be fit. That's
and he played at a very good level, a little bit of a better level than I did, and we were always in the gym. So I mean, you can touch base on that a little bit too. That way, I'm not doing on top.
But I mean, Dad got me started at the age of 12 down in the basement. Trying to do more than just bicep curls and push-ups.
That's true.
Always trying to do something more functional. So it kind of just started with, all right, go in the backyard, fill up the wheelbarrow with as many bricks as you can, run back and forth until you pass out. So, and then we
were doing like the backyard functional fitness before
it was functional.
Before it was actually functional,
We didn't even realize we were doing it.
That's so cool. Yeah. That's it.
We used to do this workout where, like you said, we would literally take a wheelbarrow and we would have cement blocks on each side of the yard. And we would start empty. We would push down, put a cement block in, push back, put another cement block in, and then we would just keep going until the wheelbarrow was completely filled with cement blocks, and then we would empty it.
See, I have girls, and now I'm like, I need boys because they can get so much work done. Just convince them it's fitness.
Well, the funny part was like we weren't even doing anything with the blocks.
Yeah.
We would literally just move them back and forth. So it wasn't even like one of those workouts where your dad was like, "Hey, you guys should take that pile of blocks and move it over there." It was like, no, we're going to put the pile of blocks like back where we found them when we're done with them. That's the thing.
Yeah, you guys are going to make some money while working.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Well, how about what's the story of this? How did Beyond Parallel get started, and what brought you guys into this particular gym? What got you guys started as owners here at Beyond Parallel?
All right, I'll take the reins on that. So essentially, I quit playing hockey my senior year of high school. So I wasn't having like a great hockey season, wasn't enjoying it. Ended up coming home early from the hockey season, which was kind of like a big downer. So I came home. I was a cyber student at the time. I had just like a lot of free time. I was actually working part-time construction with my dad whenever I came home, just to help pay for some bills, stuff like that accumulated from playing juniors. And I just needed something to do. Most of my friends were either already moved on to college because like I always had friends that were older because of hockey.
Oh, gotcha.
Or just most of my friends were going to school during the day while I was at work, and then at the end of the day we would either go to the gym or do nothing. So I did a lot of my schoolwork in the evening. So I actually just like started going to the gym, and somebody at the YMCA said, "Hey, you would be a perfect candidate for CrossFit. Like, have you ever heard of it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've heard of it. I don't really want to do it." And I just had that like typical stigma.
Check on here. Oh, best friends. Luke says, "What's up?" So thanks for coming, Luke. Go ahead.
Luke Neesing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but essentially, I didn't want to try it because I heard of like, oh, CrossFit has injuries and it's like it's not good for your body.
I have heard that.
And
a lot talk about that in a minute.
A lot of people hear that, and I was actually one of those people where like I knew nothing about CrossFit. Okay, never wanted to try it. Never thought it was interesting. I was like, I just wanted to go to the gym and get yoked. That was like the thing. Like everybody wants to go to the gym and they want to do the pretty lifts. They want to do bench press. They want to do bicep curls. Yeah. But I honestly just got tired of doing the same thing. So like 2 weeks later, I ended up just going and trying it. Me and one of my buddies from high school, JC Martini, he's actually in the military now. So like he still loves like this kind of training, but he does it on more of like a military style. But I ended up falling in love with it after like my first class. So I actually found this gym when I was looking into CrossFit. This gym was just opening. So it wasn't even really a thing yet. They were launching at the same exact time as I was looking into getting started.
How long?
Since January of 2014. I don't quote me, but I believe like they started in Jolie Wakefield's garage. So she is the original owner. And then Jolie Wakefield, Laura Prosser, and Mike Prosser, they all came together and they actually ended up moving into a building. Because Jolie was essentially, she was training people out of her garage and she ran out of room. She was training probably like 8 to 10 clients out of her garage. They were doing CrossFit.
And to fast forward a little bit, where are you guys right now? So people who don't know, where is the Beyond Parallel right now?
Every time that I say this, I have to explain it. We're in the Cranberry Commerce Center. So if you turn right or left onto Rochester Road from 19, it's the immediate first left, as if you're going to the municipal or the police station, but you go straight back into the industrial building. So there's actually 4 buildings back here. We're at building number 4, and you'll see the big red sign that says Commerce Center.
Yeah, and then when I pull in, I saw your Beyond Parallel sign as well. So basically, you're going to turn left right after you go into Rochester, and they're kind of behind the police station.
Exactly.
That's kind of the way I looked at it. When I came back, you pass up the car wash, and they're back behind the police station. See the sign, you just bear right, and they're back there, you know. Now, we've got some comments coming in I want to check on real quick. So, Dane says he's proud of you. Brian Grattan, do you know Brian?
Yeah, he's a member.
Brian's the man. All right, Brian's a member of CrossFit here.
Joined us a couple weeks ago.
Awesome.
Actually, months ago. Him and his wife, and they are doing a fantastic job. It was kind of like one of the same things. Like we were in a business group together, so BNI. Yeah. And he approached me, and he was like, "I don't really know about this CrossFit thing, but like we're really interested in trying it." Him and his wife both drive almost a half an hour to come train here 3 to 5 times a week, and both of them are doing very, very well.
And I have to give Brian a plug. If you go on to hashtag ACT people or hashtag ACT interviews, I did an interview with Brian, actually. He does an amazing event for kids with disabilities.
I volunteered as a buddy at his event this year, and I was thinking to do it every year. It was amazing.
That's fantastic. So let me ask this guy, because we've been pretty quiet over here, Cody. What got you into Beyond Parallel? And I'm gonna up the question a little bit, and Ethan, you can answer this one in a minute.
Yeah.
What got you into it? But what keeps you in it? Like, what do you enjoy about it? What's your favorite part of the industry? Because I know this guy kind of pulled you in a little bit.
Yeah.
But what got you in, and what keeps you going?
All right, so when I was playing junior hockey and college hockey, I was following programs that were passed along to me from the Carolina Hurricanes and LA Kings.
Programs
kind of
just like fitness programs?
Yeah, like off-season strength and conditioning programs. So I was following that, just kind of doing my own thing. working out by myself at the YMCA or wherever I could. And I was asking him about, what he was doing whenever he was done playing hockey. So he told me he had quit after Christmas, was coming home, trying to start his own thing. And he told me that he had come to this gym that, he loved it. The coaches were awesome. He wanted to introduce me to Mike. So I came home for the summer after my junior year. Yeah, junior year.
Yep.
Going into my senior year. And he introduced me to Mike, and I talked to him about coming and working out here. So, at the old location. And I got started on a strength and conditioning package, plan, working out their garage 1-2 days a week and coming to the gym the other 2 days a week. So after that, I'm watching him and everybody else do the CrossFit classes, and I'm like, this might not be so bad after I'm done.
Yeah.
After I'm done playing hockey. So, lo and behold, I actually only played half of my senior season. I dropped out of college, and as soon as I came home, I got started.
Yeah.
Fell in love with it. It's just a rush you can't explain.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a sickness, to be honest with you. You really got to like going through pain and pushing yourself, challenging yourself mentally. So now the sticking point, more than just owning the business, is just trying to be a better you every day, I guess.
Love it.
So
I love that.
it's something that just pushes you.
For yourself or for your clients or for both? Or what are your thoughts on that?
I would say for both. Like you want to be a better coach for your clients. You want to be a better person. You want to be a better athlete. I also officiate hockey at a pretty high level, so I'm going to be able to keep up with those monsters out there, and this definitely helps.
Yeah, very cool. What about yourself, Ethan? I know you got into the competitive level, so you probably love that a lot. But what about what keeps you? Because running your own business, as I've chatted with a lot of business owners, myself being one of them around Cranberry, running your own business is not.
It's not easy.
It's not easy, right? That's the short of it. So you got to have a passion that keeps you coming back again and again and again.
Yeah.
So what is it that keeps you going on the business side of things? I'm just curious. I'm just like,
yeah. So I've actually told multiple people this. If I break my back or my leg tomorrow, I will still be a gym owner.
Yeah.
So people always say like, are you doing this because you want to compete at the CrossFit Games and this is your inlet that allows you to train? Because I have to train 2-3 times a day, and the fact that I own a gym allows me to be here all day and do what I need to do.
Sure.
But if I couldn't compete tomorrow, my number one passion, and I've always told him this, like even when I go away, my first priority is the gym. So I always want to check in, like, okay, how are people doing? What do you need? Here's the workouts. Is everything okay? Does anybody have questions? So like, even whenever I was like at the CrossFit Games this year, my biggest worry was what was going on back home. Yeah. So the people that come here, I have a very, very deep love for every single person that comes here. So I tell everybody that comes in the door, like, you're not a part of my gym, you're a part of my family.
Awesome.
And when these people get excited about hitting their first tipping pull-up, or they hit a back squat PR, or they ran a mile faster than they did when they were in high school, it's things like that kind of keep me motivated and keep me wanting to do this, because at the end of the day, my competition career is going to be short. And when I'm washed up, broken, retired, nobody's really going to care. But the people that are here will always care. And I will always care for them. So that's kind of, I always keep that my why. Because the second that I stop caring about the gym, that's whenever I should stop owning the gym.
Yeah, it's true story. So this is something we can chat about here that maybe we should have started with. That's okay. I'm always curious about people's background stories. But who are those people? Who's the 1 or 2 people that you see coming in the most, or that should come in the most? But who are the people that get the greatest benefit? I'm sure everybody could. I mean, when you're in the healthcare space, it's like, man, anybody with a heartbeat should be doing XYZ for their body. But there's certain people that really tend to shine in certain environments.
Yeah.
Hockey is actually one of ours, to be honest, due to head injuries, but we want to go there. But in the fitness space, who are the people that really dramatically jump, that you just see such a huge return on investment in their energy levels and their passion for life and all that kind of stuff? Who should be getting in here that you see the greatest turnarounds? I'm just curious.
So for me, I see 2 types of people that benefit from this.
And I'd say you guys could both tag this one. I'm just kind of curious, because you gravitate maybe to different styles of people and clients. I'm just kind of curious. Yeah.
So to be honest, people who are trying to lose large amounts of weight.
Yeah.
So we find that incorporating, we help them with eating properly and just incorporating movement. So a lot of people, they're trying to lose weight. How many people do you see buy a gym membership in January? They go for a couple weeks and then they quit using it. Well, the biggest thing that we have here is camaraderie. So like the classes, you get addicted to the people that are in here more than you do the actual workouts.
Yeah.
And when you have somebody who's afraid to step into a gym because they're uncomfortable in their body and in their situation, it's really, really nice to have like other people that'll lift you up.
Sure.
So like somebody who says like, I have a goal of losing 50 pounds or maybe even more. It is very, very like discouraging to step into a gym when you have weight to lose. Yeah. But when you have the right people behind you, they benefit the most from it. So like it's very, very easy to step into the gym and you see people, they come for a month, they lose their first like 20, 25 pounds sometimes. I mean, it's not always that drastic, but when you see somebody who loses, their goal is to lose 20 pounds in a year and they come in here and they lose their first 5 or 6 in a month.
Yeah.
That is motivation for them, and it's amazing to see like the difference. So I would say that's the first one. And the second one is business owners or people who work like a 9-to-5 job, because a lot of times you are sitting and you're always in a sedentary position. So we have a lot of members that come at 5:30 in the morning, and a lot of them do own businesses or they're kind of like on the road or salespeople. Sure. They do really, really well here because it gets them energized for the day. So it's their one way to get moving before they have to go sit down. Yeah. And then they feel better about the rest of the day. They have more energy. They're eating healthy versus waking up an hour before they have to be at work, not packing lunches, and then eating bad throughout the day. And then all of a sudden the entire day is like just thrown off.
Morning routine is such a huge thing for high performance individuals.
Yes.
You have to have a morning routine. But yeah, that's fantastic. What about yourself?
Yeah, what do you think?
I guess like another demographic to kind of touch on there is, I guess, college athletes who are now done, can't compete anymore. People who are competitive like to come in and do this kind of training because it's
highly addictive.
It is. It's highly addictive, and it's another way to compete outside of like, college softball or football or whatever they played.
Yeah.
You
And
see a lot
football
of
is a big one because like when they're done with college, there is no adult football. You can't just go play pickup football like with shoulder pads and a helmet once you're done with college. So like I would say football is probably like the number one advocate for people who transition into CrossFit because they have nowhere else to go with sports. Yeah. Yes, it is a competition.
It can be a competition for those folks. That's really cool.
Well, even if you don't go and compete, every day is a competition because you're trying to beat yourself. So like you're always trying to improve yourself. So that's why it's like it's an interior competition more than it is like the lights and the fame. It's more inside.
It's cool, man. So I've thought about that in my work in terms of like when we talk about target markets or clients that can do really well with a product or service.
Yeah.
You can analyze the demographic in terms of their age or in my world the condition that they have and all that. But really it comes down to what you just said. It comes down to an internal thing. So like in my world it'd be people who are looking for a more permanent solution to a chronic problem, like and don't want drugs and surgery. You know what I mean? Like it's a mentality. Or in yours, it may be someone who's up to that. They have that internal competition and that drive. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and it almost doesn't matter if it's for overweight or for performance or for this. The type of person that wants to continue to succeed and be a better person tomorrow than they were today. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm hearing, which is really kind of a cool thing. Because it's like, it doesn't matter what walk of life you are, what age you are, if you're the kind of person that just wants to better yourself, it seems like this is one place that you can plug into and probably find a community of people that, regardless if they're a working professional or someone losing weight or whatnot, everyone's trying to better themselves. What I want to close out with, because I don't want to forget about this, I think it's important, is to take a minute and dispel any, what is a common, this is something I ask, what's a common thing people are either surprised to find out about, or there's a common misunderstanding like the injury thing. Yeah. I would love to take a minute and dispel anything, and also it doesn't have to be something that's a negative, but it could be something that people are just surprised to learn about. You know what I mean? Like, I never knew that, because every industry has that, where you have new clients, and sometime in the first couple of weeks, you see the light bulb go off, and they say, oh, I didn't know, blah, blah, blah. I love hitting that now, just because it's kind of fun to learn about those kind of things, especially if someone's watching, they may have, and I don't know what that is for your industry. I'm just curious if you come across that,
So my answer is going to be a little bit longer, so let's let him touch on this first.
Sure.
This is something I can talk about for days.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. We'll try and keep it to a minute.
So the whole injury thing, all right, it doesn't matter what you do in life. You play a sport, you're going to work out, do whatever. If that's all you do and you don't do anything to recover and take care of yourself properly, you're going to get hurt. So I try and tell people when they come in here, if you're going to take an hour to come in here and sweat your butt off, you know, lift all kinds of weight, you're going to do high functional movements, you're going to learn how to do gymnastics, you should probably take at least a half hour to recover. Yeah. Do something, you know. And we have a good team behind us, you know, guys outside of the gym here, like Charlie Jakes, he helps us all the time with trying to teach us, especially, what we can do to recover. You know, say your shoulder is really stiff, it's sore from whatever you did. Like, he'll show us all kinds of stuff.
Is he a chiropractor, physical therapist?
He's a body mechanic.
Yeah, so
body mechanic.
He went to school for chiropractic, but he takes a 180-degree approach to it. So he adjusts what he needs to, and most of the stuff that we work with is through musculature. Because when you're working with athletes, a lot of times, yes, there is like your spine's out of alignment and stuff like that, but a lot of times, since you're building muscle, it can create a lot of problems. Yeah, so he does, especially for me, he travels with me every time I compete. He does a lot of soft tissue.
Great. Yeah, no, I have a guy that I recently met, give him a plug, Shane Archie. He works with a gym. And the same sort of thing where he went to chiropractic a couple of years, but he's all into the soft tissue. And
does he do like Graston and ART and?
I think he's more into functional movement training, and like rehab, than the actual muscle work. So he works on people on exercise and stretches and things. And I don't know if he is into the Graston or not. I don't want to speak for him, but I'm agreeing with you that someone who's got a real good understanding of the body, take care of the soft tissues, so that you can rehabilitate and continue to push the limits of your capabilities. You know?
Exactly.
But yeah, very, very cool. I didn't want to cut you off. Is there anything else you want to cover with that? I mean, I think that's a great thing.
No, I was going to say, so far, we can always be better, but I think we've done a pretty good job at keeping people healthy when they come in here, because there is a bad reputation in CrossFit that people don't do it. They're people get hurt doing that all the time. Well, every gym's different and every coach is different. So the more knowledge you have, and I guess the less of an ego you have, and the more you try to take upon yourself to learn and pass that along to your members, it's cool. You know, everybody benefits from it. So I try, him too, we try all the time to learn as much as we can, whether we're YouTubing or reading, Kelly Starrett stuff, or talking to Charlie.
Elliot Hulse, I don't know if I'm messing up the name. I want to say his name's Elliot. He's a YouTuber that's a bodybuilder, and he's going to be presenting at a conference I'm presenting in Tampa in a few weeks, and just about having the right balance and center of gravity when you're doing some of these moves. And there's just so much that goes into it that, if you're a place that's helping educate your people on, here's how you take care of your body so you can push those limits and excel. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But any aha moments people have, or any other, myths to dispel, or things associated?
So, let's touch base on the injury thing. So a lot of people who come here and end up experiencing an injury through life, I can, my members can even tell you, a lot of times the injuries that they occur don't actually happen inside the gym. Now, I'm not going to say it never happens, because things happen. I mean, sometimes, especially whenever you're people who really challenge themselves with weightlifting, anytime you're going to work against gravity, there's a chance that something can happen.
Sure.
But there's a lot of people who come in with a back problem or a hip problem, and they'll say, I was pulling weeds this weekend, or I reached over to grab the laundry basket. And it's amazing how and when you're going through your everyday life, people don't realize how important actually using your core and using proper range of motion
it's my world.
to pick things up is it's an actual thing. If you come in here and you can back squat 400 pounds because you have a perfectly tight core, your spine is in perfect alignment, everything is set up perfectly, that's good. But you have to be able to go home and pick up your 5-pound laundry basket with that same mindset. And that's the thing that people don't get. So I would say that's number one, is not all injuries, somebody doing CrossFit getting injured, happens at the gym. A lot of times it's outside of life, and it's a lot of times it's pre-occurring issues too. So something that may have happened anyways, whether they were doing CrossFit or not. Yeah. That's number one. Number two, so the big myth with why CrossFit actually has injuries is because when CrossFit was a new thing, gyms were growing so rapidly fast that they couldn't keep up with the class sizes. So you would have a guy who owns a gym by himself, maybe has one other coach, and all of a sudden the class sizes are up to 30, 35 people. There's one guy coaching it.
How to keep an eye on it.
Exactly. So we do take a smaller approach here with our gym, because we like to keep a very, very direct point of contact with all of our clients. So if we have 15 people in here, I want to feel comfortable enough that I can scan the room and watch every single one of them at one time. So that's how comfortable I am with my coaching skills, is that I can individually address up to 12 to 15 people within an hour and make sure everybody has a safe and effective workout.
Nice.
So that's one thing that we like to push, is like, I don't care how much weight you can push. I care how well you can push it.
Yeah.
So I think that would be one of the biggest things that we like to take away from our coaching skills, is that, yes, you're going to get better, but sometimes adding weight isn't always the answer. I would rather see you squat 135 with perfect form than just squat 135.
Yep,
if that makes sense. So
No,
that's
100%.
how I want to like end that injury conversation.
Yeah.
It's about the coaches. So find somebody who you trust, like, and know, that is willing to invest time in you, and you'll have a good workout. That's what coaching and the industry of us as CrossFit gyms is all about. It's who does the coaching. It's not always the owner.
Yeah.
Sometimes the owner doesn't even coach. It's find a coach that you like, trust, and enjoy, and you'll have a great experience at whatever gym you go to.
That's a great piece of advice. And you hit on a couple things with classes and whatnot that we did. It's so funny. We get so much behind the scenes that I forget about the entry level obvious questions to ask, which are, okay, so if someone wants to plug in, test it out, see what you guys are all about, how do they do that? What are your classes? Like, how could people engage? Where do they go? What do they do?
So glad you asked. We are actually just starting a new thing where the last week of every month, we're actually going to start running a free intro to CrossFit class. So we're going to take 3 days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, where people can just come, try out, learn some new movements. So like, even if you've been squatting all your life, you're gonna come in and you're gonna learn how to squat here. Because we, as a gym, we have a way that we do things, and we don't want people skewing away from those. So you're gonna come in and learn how we squat. You're gonna test out a couple CrossFit conditioning pieces. See if it's something that you actually like, enjoy. So we do that the last week of every month, or at any point in time.
What time do you guys do this?
7 p.m. is gonna be whenever we do it this month. That might change in the near future, but we're gonna play around with some different times to see what works.
Where would people find out? Like, what's your website?
So it's www.beyond-parallel.net.
Got it.
And
I'll link that up on there too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, and check out our Facebook page. We always have events going on, descripting. Like, there's an event, 4-hour free intro week, where they can go and say if they're interested in going. I personally message them and ask them, hey, I see you're interested. What can I do to help you get started? Stuff like that. They can also go to our website and fill out our Zen Planner form and just let us know if they're interested in learning more about the gym.
Cool.
That's right under, if you click on CrossFit on our website, it's the little, you'll just read through the description and it'll say at the bottom, fill out the Zen Planner link on the left, and a coach will be in contact with you. Most of the time, that's me. I always like to make the phone calls and the emails to feel a little bit more personable rather than an automated system.
And then, like, so if someone engages, what are the ranges of, are there set class times? Do people come and go as they please, or it's all class based, right?
Yeah, so we do have classes. So we have a 5:30 a.m., a 5:30 to 9:30 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. And then we have 2 evenings every day as well. Thursday is kind of like a rest day because you can only beat your body up so much. So Thursday we have a 5:30 a.m. and a 4:30 p.m., which is like active cardio. So we have like a boot camp class. And then Saturday we have 2 morning classes. So
very cool.
And normally outside of that we do one-on-one personal training. And the other way that people can actually get involved is they schedule a free one-on-one intro session with me. So like, I'll take them through a movement analysis. We'll talk about some goals, get over some fears, and talk through those things. So
who does the one-on-ones?
Me and Cody.
But what kind of client would want or need a one-on-one personal training session?
So there's some clients that have specific goals. So a lot of times it's like weightlifting or gymnastics goals in CrossFit, or there might even be clients who just like their kind of times that they can get into the gym are different, and they look more for that one-on-one personal training. So, and then we also work with a lot of athletes. So a lot of kids who are like, they're in season, their schedule's all over the place, but they need athletic training to stay in shape during the season. We do a lot of work with them. And then, like I said, people who have never done CrossFit before, and they're like maybe a little bit of afraid to try a group setting right away, they schedule a one-on-one session with me, and then I'm going to take like 30 to 45 minutes, sit down, talk, go through some movements, go through a workout, see if it's something that fits for them, and then we incorporate them into a slow process of joining classes from there. So we have a wide variety of clients that work with us on the personal training side.
So just to piggyback on that a little bit, I actually even had one this morning. His name's Dante Lombardo. He's one of the owners at Domenico's. I don't know if anybody's ever eaten over there, but the food's amazing.
Yeah, we've done events there.
He started with us, a little over a year ago? Yeah, and he's lost 80 pounds at least.
Wow.
At least. And he just wants to, come in Thursday morning, he's got a good workout in, but he wants to get a little bit better some of the movements he's not so good at. So he comes in, we work on certain things that, you know, he's struggling on a little bit or wants to get better at, like maybe a ring dip or a pull up or whatever, you know. We might not do that every Thursday, but we'll gear workouts towards, you know, making him better at what he wants to get better at. So
maybe what we could do, and I'm not putting on the spot, but when we close this interview down, which we will in just a minute here, is go back to Instagram and stories. You guys could almost, I don't know, demo out a couple of the things that are unique to CrossFit, or I'll get some pictures around the gym and maybe a couple movements or something from you guys. I think that would be neat if someone's not familiar with what the inside of a CrossFit or a strength and conditioning gym looks like, and what are some of the activities that they learn how to do. I mean, obviously it's for your whole body, like we talked about, whether you're getting into athletics or losing weight or whatnot. So that's the main purpose of it. The vehicles are probably unique, you know, how you do that, how you achieve that. You know, what is a lot of these things you reference when people do their first XYZ exercise. I only knew about 2 of those words. I said, I know what that is, but there are some people that probably don't know. Like, what is that? What does that look like? You know, so we could probably do that. But any last words for the folks watching? I'll give you guys the last word. Thank you guys for watching. We're going to close this down in just a second. Be sure to comment if you have questions, and these guys will jump on afterwards and reply to it. Be sure to share it. You don't know how many people are probably in your circle of influence that could use this information. Maybe if they're just wanting to lose weight, they haven't told you about it, you know, that kind of thing. Or maybe you don't know that they're really an aggressive person. They just really want an outlet to kind of challenge themselves. So please feel free to share it. Thanks for hanging out with us. But any last words for the community?
Yeah, so if you're, not even if you're looking to get started with us, but if you're just looking to get started in something fitness journey, don't wait, because it's always really, really easy to say, oh, I'll start next week, or I'll start next month, or like, oh, I'll start doing the new year because new year, new me. Like, start when you have the fire. So if you even have the idea, take the steps to at least try it. Like, there's so many people that they'll go on and they'll fill out like an online form because they're interested, but then like they get a call from the trainer and they don't answer, or they're afraid to take that next step. And it's not as scary as you think it is, because once you try it and once you start it, you find like a comfort level with it. So everybody has this stigma of like being judged, and I don't know if other gyms are like that, but we have never been that way. Whether you walk in here and you're the number 1 fittest man on earth, or whether you're 100 pounds overweight, we treat everybody the same. So if you're coming in here to create a healthier lifestyle, don't be afraid of being judged or being compared to, and don't compare yourself to others. You want to come in here with the goal of like, I'm going to be a better me tomorrow, and get started. Because if you don't start now, it's really easy to continue the process of going down bad roads, and B, never changing them. So if you want to make a change, you have to start now, because tomorrow, there's always another tomorrow. And you're just going to keep telling yourself tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. And eventually, tomorrow is not going to come.
It's heavy, man. I really appreciate that, Ethan. It's really good.
Just to piggyback off that, I've heard at least a couple times, you know, like, oh, I got to quit smoking first, or I need to lose probably 20 pounds before I start doing that. I would disagree with that.
100%. You do not need to do anything.
If you're always waiting on something else before you start another thing and another thing, I think that's a pattern that never ends. And before you know it, like, time passes by and you never did it. So I would say, like, if you're interested, just do it. Like, like I said, it's you versus you. It's not you versus the guy who's been here for 5 years and he's doing 10 unbroken muscle ups. Like, don't even worry about that. Just worry about making yourself better. And this is a good place to start, just CrossFit in general. It doesn't matter if it's us or any other gym in the area. Like, somebody will help you become a better you. And like you said, the community. Like, you come in with a class of 10 people, you might be the last one still doing the conditioning one, but I promise you, the other 9 people in the gym are around you, cheering you on, telling you, let's go, man, you got this. Like, I promise you.
They're not off in the corner judging you that you're still working. They're there helping you get through your workout, because they just endured the same thing that you did.
That's really cool.
So, and touching on like what he said, people who think they have to like lose weight or quit smoking to come here, the best way to do that is to get started, because if you want to quit smoking, come to a CrossFit workout and see how you're feeling when you're done. That's the number 1 motivation for like quitting smoking or quitting heavy drinking, or even just wanting to lose weight. Like, oh, if I lose weight, I'll get faster at this. And it's like I said, it's that addictiveness. If you get addicted to doing the workouts and bettering yourself, that like those goals that you set initially, they will come if you just get started. That's what you need.
Just be proactive.
Exactly.
Cody, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for
Appreciate
having
it.
me.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys around.
Thanks, guys.
Bye now.